Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Stavley Joshua, and I'm the registrar of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. And we have been providing free training on different courses. We started with peace education, which was 7 days, and then later we introduced the professional diploma courses, which we started with emotional intelligence. From there, we proceeded to uh, alternative dispute resolution, and now we are doing peace and sustainable development. So, and this training is being provided for free, and we have been having interesting participants joining to gain knowledge to help to make our world peaceful. Because many people acknowledge the fact that they need the knowledge of peace to promote peace. And that is why we have been having a number of good participants joining every day to learn the skills and what is expected to promote peace in our world. And so we are so glad to appreciate those that have been so dedicated and committed to joining our trainings. And for those of you that may not be aware of this training, we are still inviting you if you come across our videos and you want to participate, you just follow us on our page, and then from there you will begin to see the activities of the institute, and then you will key into it because the program we organize it every month, and it hosts every day except Wednesday. So that's what we have been doing, and we would like to also welcome uh, our 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 trainees for today's class. Today we are in Unit 3 of Module 1 of Peace and Sustainable Development. We started looking at the introduction to sustainable development. Uh, and we were able to look at several things regarding that. And so we progress to the next topic. And today we'll be looking at global governance, and then several other topics will come subsequently. So we are delighted to have you join us today. We appreciate your commitment and your solemn dedication. Thank you very much as you have joined us. Please, if you have joined us, as it has been our culture and tradition, you can do it to share the link on your wall, inviting people to come and take a free training and acquire skills, gain knowledge, so that you can help us to promote peace in our communities. This is a responsibility all of us have to do to spread the message of peace. So when you share it on your wall, the only thing you are doing indirectly is that you are promoting peace as well, contributing to spread the message. So let us not be tired of doing it. Let us do it every day to attract the attention of those who may not be aware of what is going on here, so that they can also participate in this and acquire the knowledge and help to make our society good. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your commitment and dedications. And of course, you can tell us where you're joining us from, and you can also paraphrase why the training is going on to, you know, demonstrate that you are following the training and you are understanding what we are saying. So by paraphrasing in the comment section, it shows that yeah, you you are following very well. And then if you have any question that you need to ask, you can also ask the question in the comment section. So thank you very much on behalf of the Governing Council of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management and the management of the Institute. I would like to welcome you officially for today's training. And we are going to look at global governance and international organizations. Global governance and international organization. You see, everything that we do has an international, coordination. Do you understand? So everything we are doing so far as peace and sustainable development is concerned, it has what international coordination. You come to uh, conflict resolution, comes to peace building, comes to peacekeeping, comes to sustainable development goals, it comes to humanitarian, comes to health. We have international organizations that coordinate some of these activities. When it comes to even trade, international trade, bilateral relations, there are international laws that govern these activities. Do you understand? So we have international governance, and several organizations play roles at various ways to make sure that these things are going on smoothly. Yes, we have several organizations like the United Nations and the World Health Organizations, which is also one of the arms of the United Nations. United Nations being, uh, I know, a global institution. Then we have different regional organizations like the European unions, the African unions, and then even in these organizations, they are still sub. We have the Eastern, uh, you know, uh, or the West African Economic Council, whatever. All of them are contributing to make our world peaceful. So these are the things that and these are some of the observations I will be making in the course of this training. So today we are looking at the role of United Nations and other international bodies. So what role is United Nations playing to make sure that peace is achieved, to make sure that development is taking place? So this is what we'll be looking at today. And so you are welcome. And then after that, we'll look at international laws and treaties promoting peace and sustainable or sustainability. And of course, we'll look at the challenges that are confronting what global governance. All right. So these are the things. So if you are joining us for the first time, maybe you can do way to go back and listen to some of the videos of the classes we had, and then I think you will be able to catch up with us. This is the third class for this course. And so if you are joining for today, this is your first time, you can do way to listen to the previous videos so that you can be able to catch up with us. The videos are on YouTube, they're on our Facebook, and you can watch them repeatedly as much as you want to get knowledge and get what you want to know. And in case you listen to it, you have a question, just drop a question in the comment section. We'll respond to it when we check the comment section. Do you understand? So that's it. So the role of United Nations and other international bodies. So the United Nations and other organizations have been playing vital role, crucial role in global governance. And they have been addressing various challenges, all right, that transcend national boundaries. That is, these challenges cut across the world. They are not limited to a particular country or region. When the issue of pandemic came, several institutions were making effort to make sure that its spread it reduces. Do you understand? So many awareness were created to make sure that people prevent um, themselves from contacting the virus. And so it has been like that. So some of these challenges they cut across what national boundaries. The issue of terrorism and some also the challenges. The issue of poverty, they cut across national boundaries. And of course, conflict is affecting global system. Do you understand? Because of food conflict in Russia, that's Ukraine, Russia, we have been having food crisis. Do you understand? So these are some of the things. So this thing cut across what national boundaries, and this is what this institution have been working tirelessly to address. All right. So and there are some key roles that the United Nations and other international organizations are playing to um, in- to ensure an effective global governance. And one of those roles is peace and security. The provision of peace and security is one major role of the United Nations. And that's why we have the Security Council. All right. You have the Security Council. All right. So, and then we have the G7. All right. So this institution is on the forefront of promoting peace. You understand? peace peacekeeping missions are being authorized by the United Nations. They have been sending people on special envoys to mediate. They have been sending their diplomats to mediate. Do you understand? So these are the things. So they are doing massive things to make sure that we have peace in our world and we have security. Of recent we have them also gathered when Iran attacked Israel. They called them, all of them come. All the ambassadors came, all the prime ministers, they were there and they were discussing these issues. Do you understand? And it was even there that the Prime Minister of Barbados, or the Barbados Prime Minister, was also agitating for global peace concept, agenda. Do you understand? So these are some of the issues. So the United Nations Security Council is responsible for maintaining international peace and security. So you can see the United Nations Security Council is one of the arm of the United Nations organization. Do you understand? So, and for those of you that may not know what United Nations is all about, it's a collection of all the sovereign states who agree to form an international organization to work together for the good of the world. So we have the United Nations, where almost all countries are members of the United Nations. Not all, but majority of the countries are members of the United Nations. All right, and they have been putting resources together, putting effort together to bring peace and address some of the challenges that we are talking about, the issue of peace and security. So the United Nations Security Council, which is one of the arm of the United Nations, is the one that's in charge of ensuring that there's peace and security in our world. Do you understand? Uh, they take decision. They also authorize peacekeeping activities. Provide direction, provide frameworks, and talk about disarmament, and then also control the proliferation of arms and all of that. So all of these things are the activities that the United Nations Security Council have been doing to bring about peace and security in our nations. So it can authorize peacekeeping missions, sanctions, and other measures to address conflict and threats to peace. So when they discover that a particular country is becoming so stubborn, they sanction them. Do you understand? Because many of them have international businesses. Some of them have international reserves, what we call the foreign reserves. If Nigeria is misbehaving now, they will sanction that and seize, block that. Do you understand? And several other activities, and that will begin to affect Nigerian economy in a different way. Do you understand? So these are the issue. So peace and security is one of the roles played by the United Nations, and it's being done by this United Nations Security Council. Right? So another one is human rights protection. Human rights protection. Do you understand? The human rights, the rights to live, um, to educate, to freedom of association, and several of those rights that have been chartered, you know, are there to govern and safeguard the rights of the people. Do you understand? We have several provisions that, you know, enshrine the rights of the human race of mankind to live and fulfill their destinies. Do you understand? So the United Nations is responsible for the protection of these rights, and the UN Human Rights Council is responsible for maintaining international uh, is responsible for maintaining and promoting, human rights globally. Do you understand? So that's what they do. So the United Nations Human Rights Council is responsible for this role. So they are to protect, they are to promote human rights globally. So where there are human rights abuses, you expect them to come. Maybe in time of war, where people are being civilians are being killed unjustly, this organization can come in to see how they will address those challenges through different means. during the time of Charles Taylor. You people are aware of what happened. You understand? And so it was a problem because of the human rights abuses. So Charles Taylor was being convicted and was sentenced. So these are the issues. Do you understand? So human rights protection is one of the role played by the United Nations. All right. So another one is sustainable development goals. Sustainable development is also another role they are playing. And of course, we have a framework that we have discussed here in one of our topics, which is the sustainable development goals. I think that's what we discussed, I think yesterday also. So we discussed extensively on some of these uh, sustainable development goals that the United Nations is promoting, and they provide a framework on what we need to do to reduce some of those challenges that have been itemized, talking about poverty, hunger, well-being, talking about quality education, talking about life in the waters, life on land, peace and corporations, and several other items are some of the goals that the United Nations is promoting. And the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals provide a framework for that. And we are addressing the challenges of poverty, inequality, climate change, and environmental degradation. So international organizations work together to coordinate the efforts to achieve this result. Do you understand? So that's why in every nation we have uh, the Sustainable Development Goals unit or office. In Nigeria, we have it, their office in the office of the Federal Civil Service. Do you understand? So they are there. Okay. So making sure that the activities of the international organization are taking place here smoothly. Because what is expected is that all member states integrate these things in their project, in their you know economic development plans to make sure that you know these things are being reduced. So if it's not working in your own environment, it's your leadership problem. In other environments, it's working. Do you understand? It's working in America, it's working in UK, it's working in Canada, it's working in Iceland, it's working in Spain, it's working in Germany, it's working in Italy, it's working in France, in African countries, maybe it's working in South Africa, it's working in Botswana, it's working in maybe Rwanda. Do you understand? And maybe several others. So, and in several places. So that is what is involved. All right. Then humanitarian assistance, international organizations like the United Nations Refugee Agency, as the UNHCR, all right, and the World Food Program, that is WFP. Some of you may be working with them. Some of you might have worked with them before. They provide humanitarian assistance to people affected by conflicts, natural disasters, and other crises. And of course, they coordinate some of these affairs in line with the national emergency offices. Like in Nigeria, we have the National Emergency Agency, Emergency Management Agency, who coordinates the humanitarian activities in the country. Do you understand? So whenever there is crisis, whenever there's disaster, like what happened in Borno recent, the flood that took place in Borno State, they rush with materials, relief materials, you know, where people were encamped and all of that. So these are efforts to make sure that people who are in that situation receive help and are living their lives at least to some level, sustainable, uh, to sustain them to a level, uh, depending when the conflict reduced or the disasters subsided, they can go back to their home and continue with their normal lives. But it's one of the instruments, was one of the channels that the United Nations is also using to reach out to people in need, humanitarian assistance. In Syria, see how many, no, I'm talking about Syria, even in Syria, sometimes ago when the crisis were there, humanitarian assistance was being provided, is still being provided. In Nigeria, the same thing in the Northeast, in Palestine, we are seeing that in Lebanon now, such kind of assistance are going on. Do you understand? Two different institutions, both local and international organizations, are partnering with the United Nations to make sure that these humanitarian assistance get to the people that need them. So it's very important, and it's one of the role that United Nations is playing. We are discussing about the role of the United Nations and other international organizations, all right, in bringing global governance to bear on our world. Then we talk about global health. Global health. Bodies like the World Health Organization play a critical role in coordinating global responses to health crises such as pandemics and promoting public health initiatives worldwide. Some of us must have been beneficiary of these things. So some of us received COVID-19 injection. So they say that if you have received that injection, you are no longer a human. Oh. So, but I don't know. You confirm for us, you that have received it, whether you are still human or not. But that is what they said. That's hearsay. Didn't confirm it. So I'm just making joke out of it anyway. So, but global health is also one of the role that the United Nations is playing to make sure that we live well, we live in vitality, we live long, have long lives, and live long and enjoy ourselves. All right. So, and even in your old age, you should receive health care. Do you understand? So, at all levels and at all ages, you have to receive health care. Do you understand? So, and this is the role the United Nations also playing. Talk about environmental protection. The United Nations is on the forefront or at the forefront of promoting, you know, environmental initiatives to protect our world, our earth, our ecosystems. Do you understand? So the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, and other organizations work to address environmental challenges like climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution through what international agreements and corporations. You understand? So environmental protection is another major role the United Nations is playing. Now they are always crying, saying that member states are not bringing the political will required to address some of the environmental challenges. African countries are saying it's you that is causing the global warming. You people should pay for it. You people that are so industrialized, you are the one that caused the problem. Pay the price. Right? So that's it. So it's becoming an issue. So the willingness to do this, the Paris agreement is there, but they have not committed so much to it. And that's why every time I hear the United Nations Secretary General making noise, calling on, on member states to make sure that these things are being addressed as identified. So environmental protection is one of those functions. For us, some of us, if you were last year, like last year or this year, rather this year, as of August, there was no rain in the northern part of the country yet. These are signs of what, or these are the effects of what climate change. I stay in Jigawa. Sometimes we used to see rain by May, first rain May, sometimes June. And this year, the report I got was that it started around August. and then before you know it, by September, October, it's stop. Do you understand? These are the things that we're talking about. Then we're talking about excessive heat. Do you understand? Because of the heat waves, right? So that the biodiversity loss. Do you understand? Many species of animals and plants are being wasted. So all of these things are concern of the United Nations, and they're doing everything possible to make sure that they are being protected. Do you understand? They are being protected, right? So and then the issue of pollution, of course, pollution is everywhere. Generators making noise all the time, emitting things. Vehicles on the road all the time, emitting. Problem. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So the United Nations is making effort to make sure that this environment is protected so that we can live quality lives and fulfill destiny. Trade and economic development. Trade and economic development is another function and role the United Nations is discharging at their topmost abilities. International bodies such as the World Trade Organization, where our able economist Dr. Okonjo-Iweala is the chairperson of the World Trade Organization at the moment, right? And so they promote international trade, set trade rules, and resolve disputes through what we call, like we when we're doing our alternative dispute resolution, we talk about International Chamber of Commerce, all right? They also have guidelines on how to resolve conflict. Do you understand? Alternative dispute resolution. So this is being coordinated by the World Trade Organization. You understand? Which is also one of the arm of the United Nations. So we'll talk about the legal framework. The legal framework. International organizations have developed and uphold international laws, treaties, and conventions that govern behavior and among behaviors among nations and provide a framework for resolving dispute peacefully. So this is what is also involved. And of course, we'll talk about legal frameworks like in the alternative dispute resolution, we're talking about the New York Convention, right? So when you want to enforce an award, that's an arbitral award, you have to enforce it in line with the provisions of the New York Convention, right? So on that, that is what it is involved. So you need to obey some of this, and then we have international organizations like International Court of Justice and several of them who help to promote a legal system at the international level. You understand? So there are treaties, there are conventions. So sometimes countries sign treaties or international various countries come together to sign treaties. Do you understand? Okay, we don't want this thing to happen. We don't want the spread of arms. We don't want the development of what uh, nuclear bombs, atomic bombs, chemical bombs. We don't want such. So these are treaties and also some of them conventions. Do you understand? And then they are being once it's been developed, it becomes a law, and so you have to respect it. So conflict resolution, international bodies facilitate negotiation, mediation, and of course arbitration and diplomacy to resolve conflicts. So there are diplomatic missions that they used to go. Sometimes they invite our former president, President Goodluck Jonathan, to also follow, and the Sierra Leone former president, the woman. So Ellen, so all of them have been going on diplomatic missions to see how they can resolve conflicts. Do you understand? So this is how it's being done. Right. So they are also on the forefront to make sure that there is peace in our world. Even even the international organization, right? The conflict that is going on in the Middle East, they are also doing their best to make sure that such uh, activities are not taking place in the dimension for which they are going. So, but they still need to do more, and they still need to do better. But that is one of the things they are doing. All right. So we talk about international laws and treaties. All right, international laws and treaties promoting peace and sustainability. International law and treaties promoting peace and sustainability. So this is another topic we are going to, consider. We have considered the first one where we look at the role of the United Nations organization, and now we want to look at the, international laws that promote what peace and sustainability. I hope you are following me, and I hope you are understanding what we are saying here. So if you just join us, do way to share this meeting with someone, inviting them to also take this free training. Do this as your own part of the responsibility. As we are taking the stress of also training for free, you also help us to share with someone, invite them, let them come. We will want to provide everybody with the knowledge of peace so that we can have peace in our world. So the only way you can contribute is by sharing and informing others, inviting them to come and take part in what we are doing. So as you do that, God will bless you. I will be grateful. Thank you. So we are going to look at international laws and treaties promoting peace and sustainable development. There are several international laws and treaties that have been established to promote peace and sustainability. You understand? And a sustainable war and a stabilized war. Do you understand? So, and they have been playing a key role in making sure that these are being achieved. Okay, so let's look at some of those laws and treaties that have been institutionalized to make sure that we have peace and stability in our world. One is the United Nations Charter. That is the United Nations itself as an organization is a law because it was chartered in 1948, right? And that is when the United Nations organization started. I think 1948, right? Yes. So that's when it started. So, and they have been officially it was started, but I think it started somehow in 1945 and all of that. So, the United Nations Charter is the foundational treaty of the United Nations, which aims to maintain international peace and security, all right, promote respect for human rights, and foster collaboration among nations to solve global problems. So that is what the charter is for, to make sure that peace is being achieved, to make sure that security is being achieved in our world. So that's what is involved. Then we'll talk about the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention is another form of laws that have been helping to promote peace and security in our world. So the Geneva Conventions are a set of international treaties that establish the standards of international humanitarian law. That's why when they say they kill people, they bomb people, they shoot ballistic missiles, and maybe use of nuclear bombs, it's going to be punishable under the international humanitarian law. Do you understand? So that's why whenever you hear them talking, they are always banking on the international humanitarian law because the rights of civilians must be, protected. Do you understand? And this has been challenges, and that's why it's becoming so complex to even fight some of those issues because some of these group that are considered as terrorist organizations, they build tunnels, you know, in people's houses, under people's houses, and they are moving around. So how can you target them without harming people? And when you harm other civilians, then you are automatically, going against the international humanitarian laws. Do you understand? So that is what it means. So, and that is why the Israeli Prime Minister and the Israeli ambassador to United Nations are always defending and defending and defending and giving reasons why and telling you how they are doing their best to promote and protect the lives of the civilians. In time of conflicts, you see them, the Geneva Conventions, is being considered. How you deal with the situation matters a lot. It was because of the poor handling of the crisis in Liberia that Charles Taylor was being, convicted under the international humanitarian laws. Okay, so they protect civilians, prisoners of war, and wounded combatants. Right. So these things are the things that we're talking about here. Then nuclear non-proliferation treaty (NPT). Nuclear non-proliferation treaty is an international treaty that aims to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. That's why they have not been allowing Iran to produce and develop nuclear weapons, because you see how if they waste now, they can fire it at this like at Israel. I get the point now. So that's why they are not allowing them to produce it, because if they cannot be patient enough for somebody to attack them before they can release missiles. You know what I'm talking about. So if they have nuclear weapons, one day they'll wake up and destroy the entire Middle East. Do you understand? So it's better they should not produce it. So this set of treaties aim to reduce the spread of nuclear weapons and promoting what disarmament, so that people who have weapons of mass destruction in their hands can drop them. Do you understand? So it seeks to promote nuclear non-proliferation and peaceful use of nuclear energy. So the Chemical Weapons Convention is an armed control treaty that prohibits what? The development, the production, the stockpiling, and the use of chemical weapons, and requires their destruction. That is, if at all there's any being produced, should be destroyed. We don't want to see chemical weapons because these are weapons of mass destruction. Do you understand? Once a chemical weapon is dropped here, it will not be good enough to see. Do you understand? So the the development of it is being prohibited. The production of it is being prohibited. That is, before you think of even developing it, know that it's being prohibited. So you cannot develop it, you cannot produce it, you cannot stockpile it, and of course, you cannot use it. And of course, it should be destroyed if at all there is any in existence. So that's what the convention is doing. And I think we have not heard of chemical weapons being used uh, in the history. I think since when the United Nations started, I think because I think what happened in was it in Japan, or do you understand? Apart from that, I think it has not been used, and it's one of the reasons why these treaties were signed, so that such kind of weapons may not be produced again. Biological Weapons Convention, right? BWC. The BWC is an international treaty that prohibits the development, production, and stockpiling of biological weapons. It aims to prevent the use of diseases such as a weapon of war. Diseases. When the COVID-19 pandemic came, what happened? Some people were accused of producing it, right? In Wuhan, China, Abi, I heard that a doctor produced this thing. It's not a natural occurrence. He produced it. And what happened? millions of people died globally. Do you understand? Millions of people died globally as a result of this. So if you can imagine, so in a space of how many years, massive death, 19, 20, 21. For us, like in our country, we started hearing it, we're taking action towards it somewhat in 2020, February. Do you understand? So that's when it Nigerian government began to reduce the activities of social activities, interactions. So international uh, treaties, you know, on biological weapons aims to prohibit the development, production, and stockpiling, and of course the use of biological weapons. Because they will give you one injection here, you go, and then you will be any point of contact. That's how it will be flying. It will be flying. It will be flying. You understand? So diseases will spread and many people will die. Right? Comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. Comprehensive what? Nuclear test ban treaty. So the CTBT is a multilateral treaty that bans all nuclear explosions for both civilian and military purposes. So some of them that have produced it, they just keep it there. I don't know what they are keeping it. They should destroy it. When they say America have nuclear weapons, Russia have nuclear weapons, France have nuclear weapons, and all of that, North Korea and the rest of them have nuclear. What are they doing with it? Why are they not destroying it? Why are they keeping it? So one day, maybe they will wake up and then destroy the entire world, finish with nuclear weapons. Do you understand? So it aims to prevent the testing and development of nuclear weapons. It aims to do what? Prevent the testing. That is, in case you even produce it, don't test it anywhere. The testing and development of nuclear weapons. But but the basic requirement is that don't produce it at all. And if peradventure you produce it, you cannot test it anywhere, because if you test it, that may generate conflict and then engulf the entire world into nuclear weapons fight. Do you understand? Because even those that are making noise have them. So Paris Agreement is an international treaty under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. United Nations Framework Convention on what? Climate change. So it aims to strengthen what? The global response to climate change by limiting global warming to way below 2 degrees Celsius. Do you understand? So we want to reduce the global warming to a minimal level as much as possible. All right. So they sign, our country here also signed, many of the African countries also endorsed the agreement. But now to come on money, do it is a problem. To exercise political will, bring resources, mobilize resources to address some of these challenges is a problem. But other nations are doing it. They're using electric cars. So very soon you discover that all these uh, car that emit all this combustible, they will be destroyed. Do you understand? So America and several other Chinese car, like I saw one truck that was purchased of recent online, and it's a bus and it is rechargeable. Do you understand? Electric car. So China is also ahead, America and the rest of them. So we have the Teslas there, so they're starting. So producing those cars. So at the end of the day, all of the other ones will disappear, and then begin to have our. We can everybody, if you like, everybody can own a car, no problem. We'll not have any challenge. Do you understand? So International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations and settles legal disputes between states based on international law. So its decisions are binding and contribute to the peaceful resolution of international conflicts. The conflict between Nigeria and Cameroon over Bakassi Peninsula, what happened? It was being resolved at the International Court of Justice. At the end of the day, what happened? The Nigerian government hand over the peninsula, Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon, right? Otherwise, that place was a place of crisis all the time between Nigeria and Cameroon. But once that was resolved, conflict end in those areas. We have not heard. Do you understand? So these are some of the roles the International Court of Justice is playing to bring justice in our world. Do you understand? So I hope you guys are following up. So these international laws and treaties play crucial role in promoting peace and stability globally. So if you are opportune to work with any of them, I think you understand what I'm talking about because many of us might have worked with them, right? So, or you are nurturing your ambition to work with them. Maybe with this certificate now, you can go, it's going to be an added advantage for you to go and apply for a job with them. So maybe with this certification, you can go and apply with them and then get something, get a job and start working with them. So we have challenges in global governance. This is the last topic we're going to take for today. Challenges in global governance. What are the challenges that confront the United Nations in trying to bring about global coordination and addressing these challenges that we are talking about here now? You can see, if you can look at from the angle of conflict in the Middle East, everybody is claiming their right to self-defense. So who is attacking who first now, and who is defending who, and how are you defending it? You understand? So it's been a problem. It has been a problem over 70 years of existence of Israel in that region. It has been a problem with the neighbors. You understand? So these are some of the challenges that are confronting global governance because, and that's why the prime minister was agitating, that's Barbados prime minister was agitating for global peace agenda, because we must have something that focus on global peace, because the silence in these things are becoming questionable, making the United Nations as an institution to be questioned. Do you understand? What is the essence of this institution that it cannot enforce some of these things? All right. So conflicts going, see how Ukraine was destroyed because Russia claimed to be also, oh, it's not claimed, it's also one of the G7. So those are the ones that have veto powers. Do you understand? So they can do whatever they want to do and nobody will challenge them. America can do whatever they want to do, nobody will challenge them. France can do whatever they want to do, nobody will challenge them. Germany, China, whatever they want to do, nobody will challenge them. So these things, because they have veto power to do whatever they want to do, it's becoming a problem to the global governance. One of the challenges, right? So, but let's look at some of the challenges that are in consideration here. So we are looking at lack of enforcement mechanism. Lack of enforcement mechanism. We have all of these treaties, we have all of these conventions, but there's no mechanism put in place to checkmate and also enforce some of these uh, crimes that are being done at the international level. the ones that have been termed to be prohibited. As I'm talking to you now, if care is not taken, someone, maybe a country is producing chemical weapons, biological weapons, and they are keeping it in silence. Nobody is aware. But if we are going to have the Third World War, then maybe you will see some things that may amaze you. Do you understand? So that is it. That's why Russia doesn't trust America. America doesn't trust Russia. China doesn't trust America. America doesn't trust China. Why? Because you may not know what they are doing. They will tell you the one you want to hear, but the one you don't know is what you don't know. So lack of enforcement. The conflict in Middle East has been going on for the past 70 years. We talk about the two-state factor. That has not been done. And they have not enforced it. Do you understand? They have not enforced it. So it's give questions on the vitality and the effectiveness of the United Nations as even a body. Lack of enforcement mechanism. Number two is national sovereignty. Many countries are protecting their interests more than the interests of the collective goal. You understand? That's we come together and say, oh, let's come together, let's join hands together and make our world peaceful. But our mind is not there. Our mind is on our national sovereignty. I am an independent nation, so I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm just a member of United Nations is by volunteerism. That is, it's a voluntary association that I can withdraw from it. Just like in West Africa here now, we have Burkina Faso, we have Niger, we have Mali, and which one that withdrew from the ECOWAS. Do you understand? So it's a voluntary something. So all these states can wake up one day and say, I not do again. All right. That's why you see Britain, the Brit exit or whatever Brexit, whatever. Some of you knew what happened. They left the European Union because we want to be on our own. Do you understand? Don't want European Union anymore. Don't want to be a member of the European Union. And that was not even the first time. They did that before. So it tells you how these states or nations can one day wake up and say, we don't want to be a member of United Nations again. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So sovereignty concerns and the reluctance of some nations to cede authority to international bodies can hinder effective global governance. America is America. Doesn't want anybody to come and control them there. Do you understand? And sometimes when some of the officers are assigned to go on peacekeeping, maybe as commandant or as Ogas in charge, they tend to protect the interests of their national uh, of their parents' country more than where they are going on. That is, for instance, now they are coming to Nigeria on peacekeeping, and maybe America have interest in Nigerian crude oil. That is what they are going to protect. They are going to protect the interests of America in Nigeria and not really to come and keep any form of peace. Those combatants or those rather commandants or whatever or generals that are assigned to go on peacekeeping sometimes they protect the interests of their nations and not the interests of the world. So power dynamics. You see how flex Russia and America have been flexing muscle here and there. Do you understand? Say I'm strong. Everybody displaying all manner of weapons. North Korea is always listening, testing ballistic missiles. Don't want to listen to anybody. They are not even a member of the United Nations, so they can do whatever they want to do, and nobody will tell them anything. He said if they vex him, he will use nuclear weapons and clear South Korea. You can imagine. So he's always threatening, and he can do it too if care is not taken. You understand? So these are the issue. But he will not do it because he will also be cleared. So that's why he will not do it. Because the combined force that will come on him and the country will be too difficult to handle. So they will not do it. But power dynamics, they are showing that we too we are strong. So America cannot control us. China cannot control us. So our economy is stable. We are doing massive infrastructural development and is competing. China is competing with the rest of the developed nations. Do you understand? So that is it. So power dynamics and America in the United Nations, if all the countries agree, including the other G7 agree, but so far as America say no, it remains no. Veto power. Once any of them say no, say no. You understand? So these are the issue. Complexity and fragmentation. Complexity. So all of these things are so complex. The issue of sovereignty are complex issues. The issue of power at work are complex issues that need to be addressed. So global issues such as climate change, cybersecurity, and migration are often complex and interconnected, requiring coordinated effort to address them. So mitigating some of these things can be so challenging. Do you understand? Can be so challenging. So, but it can be done anyway. So resource constraints. That's why the United Nations Secretary General is always crying. Countries are not doing anything. We said Paris Agreement, bring the resources, let's put effort together to address this thing. They are not coming forth. So what do you expect? They're not coming forth. So what do you expect? Limited resources and funding can impede the ability of international organizations to effectively address global challenges and provide assistance where needed. All right. Maybe by now we would have been to the Middle East to also contribute to what is going there. But ego no dey o, ego na wahala. Do you understand? uh So the United Nations cannot be able to function effectively without resources, and these resources are contributed by member states. And so when member states are not willing to, you see, during Trump administration, they cut their quota that they used to contribute to the United Nations. They cut it. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So political interest. Like I said, some of these activities are carried out protecting the interest of their nation, not of the organization or the international organization. So national interest and geopolitics can sometimes undermine collective actions and cooperations, leading to challenges in reaching consensus on global issues. When the issue of Russia, country will be divided, China is going with Russia all the way, no matter what America said, it will not work because China also has veto power. You understand? So, and whatever China, Russia are saying about Israel, so far as America is supporting Israel, nothing can stop them. They will do whatever they want to do. And whatever decision they want to take at the United Nations, and so far as America say no, it's not going anywhere. Do you understand? So these are the issues. And these are the challenges. Do you understand? These are the challenges. Power play and the political interest. Rapidly changing landscape. The pace of change in technology, economies, and the environment can outstrip the ability of governance structures to adapt and respond effectively. Hurricanes, tsunamis, global heat waves, all of these happen at a very large scale. The one that happened in Borno here, you see, it's not compared to what hurricanes do. So there. the volcano eruptions, talk about the the what do you call them? So many of them, cyclones, do you understand, come and destroy a lot of things. So these things are also causing problems. Non-state actors, non-state actors. The rise of non-state actors such as multinational corporations, non-governmental organizations, and terrorist groups can complicate global governance efforts and challenge traditional state-centric approaches because many international organizations are like the NGOs and the other corporations are doing massive things, some contributing, some making trouble. That's why sometimes international organizations like the NGOs have been accused of exacerbating crisis because they feel as if the more crisis, the more they get money. Do you understand? So if there are no crises, they will not be in existence. So let the crisis continue so that they continue to come there in the name of providing aid. So these are some of the challenges. These things are complex problems. Do you understand? So of course they are doing a lot to reduce the suffering of the people, but it's possible that their presence is influencing some of these activities. Do you understand? So that's what it means. So information and communications. Technology is actually doing a lot of good and a lot of harms. Misinformation. Some of you can see what is happening. They'll go and carry a picture of somebody and then they will do, you know, do whatever you call it, Photoshop and do whatever editing and bring Didi and Bonabo, bring Didi and Davido, bring Didi and this one. So these things are fake information, but they are spraying. Why? Technology. Do you understand? So it's damaging the image of these young people. Do you understand? That are promoting music. So these are the issues. So these things are complex problems. The spread of misinformation, disinformation, and the rapid dissemination of information through digital platforms can complicate decision making and public perception of global issues. You understand? So these are the issues. The way informations are being spread so massively is becoming a problem. And it's going through technology. We can sit here and pass information across. Do you understand? Then complex decision making process. Consensus building among diverse stakeholders with varying interests and priorities can be time consuming and challenging, leading to delays in addressing urgent global challenges. So that is it. Because nation states they have their own interests. And of course, it's not all of them that will talk in the same part on the same part at the same time. No. Sometimes they disagree. And that disagreement can lead to no progress, stagnation, and then can also lead to failure. And that's why we are questioning the United Nations and the viability of the organization. It's because of some of these things that are happening. You understand? So that's it. So addressing these challenges require increased cooperation, dialogue, and innovation in global governance structure, strengthening international institutions, enhancing transparency, accountability, and inclusivity in decision-making process, and fostering partnership among government, civil society, and the private sector to make sure that these things are being addressed. So tomorrow we'll be looking at conflict analysis and resolution. Conflict analysis and resolution. All right, so do wait to join us tomorrow by 7 p.m. at the same time. But that's the much we can take today. So I'm going to the comment section. If I see any question, I will respond. And then from there, we'll call it a day. There's no examination tomorrow. Somebody is asking, are we going to have our test tomorrow? That is those that did alternative dispute resolution training, they're asking whether they're having their test tomorrow. No, people are not having it tomorrow. You are going to have it when you will finish your presentation on the simulation training we are doing until all the groups present before we write the exams. Or what we will do is any group that presents, we'll send the group members the link to write the exams, and that's it. But we will not do that because there may be leakages, so we will not do it. So when everybody, all the groups finish presenting their simulation training, then we can write the exam. So for now, work with your group to make sure that you people do your presentation. That's it. I think I answered the question, Blessing. When is the exam? So the question has been answered already. We have not created any group on this peace and sustainable development. There's no group on peace and if you register for peace and sustainable development, there's no group. So don't talk about the issue of group here. Nobody has created any group here. This I'm talking about those that did training on on alternative dispute resolution. I'm not talking about peace and sustainable development. So there's no group here. Please. So thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow by 7 p.m. That is the much we can take. Good night. Bye.